Alright, welcome to Forex Killers. I thought I'd do a really quick update. I was going to just post in the Discord, but I just wanted to cover a few things, so I'll just do a quick update. Alright, DXY, we're still moving up. What was it? First level, we had a dump off that 103.750 and then continued to climb. So, shorts were cut, but then I was looking at this next level 104, and we sort of had this EL going and nice little expansion leg up, what it looked like, and then a bit of a rejection, but we sort of just climbed around some more legs and up, sort of just climbing, slowly trudging up. I am looking for a bit of a bigger correction, so I do see it coming. Not going to go into detail, it would take too long, but I got some signs for this correction to come, and obviously inversely on EU. Took my profit on EU last night, right at this level at 250. Went long, rode some, could have taken some profit. What I get, yeah, over 20 pips. But I just held mine and then just had to have my stops at break even, and unfortunately got stopped out overnight when I'm sleeping, which happens often, which sucks a little bit. But just with where the market was, I couldn't risk it going down another sort of 50 odd pips. Not that I expected it, but yeah, I didn't want to risk that. So I'm not in right now, which is a bit shitty because my entry was 170. I had a 240 entry which got stopped break even, which is now, so I guess not too bad, and then my other entry was at 170, so we'll see how it plays. We'll see what happens at London. But we had that last little flat that I showed you, and I don't know what that's going on there. Lower time frame just looks a bit weird on that higher time frame. Yeah, we had the flat in here, right, and then we've had that last sell-off. We're hitting the golden zone now, so sitting in the golden zone. Usually get a bounce at minimum, right? So that's what I'm looking for. You're going to get a reaction. Computers, hedge funders, retail traders, the 618. It's about finding a reaction. So that's what I'm looking for. First target, in terms of like getting some pips, would just be up around this level. So that's what I'm expecting. I am expecting a bit of a reversal, whether it has a sort of one more hit or whatever, unsure. There's no divergence here on the 12-hour. No divergence on the daily either. So, and again, just for you guys watching, learning and stuff, looking at this being divergence, like that's just not even a thing. All right. So you don't look at this and say, oh, look, it's almost hidden bull. It's just not even a thing. Okay. So that's the wrong time frame to be looking at for this. If this was to be, bullish for me, what we would have done was come down like this, right? Like this, put in a bullish divergence here between these two, right? So you have the hidden bullish divergence between this, and then you've got the regular on the last peaks, right? So that is what you're sort of looking for, and you'll see that over time and time again, and that's when you get your reversals, right? See stuff like that, that's very bullish. Okay, and that can still roll over. Trust me on that. That can still roll over. But you'll get a bigger bounce, a more solid bounce. Right now, if you're looking at this, that's a pretty small running flat, like for the extension, but it can happen. You can get an extension that small. But I don't see it. I see us, we're not even at 786. 1-to-1 much better. But as I said, my targets are still, looking down here, 127. That's more what we're looking at. We're looking at that expansion, right? Down liquidity, then we go up. All right. So that's what I've always been looking for. We're still looking for that, but I wasn't going to hold this, this trade from up in here. You know, I wasn't going to let 300 pips. So once I hit 300 pips, I'm happy with that. Because we can easily retrace 100, 150 pips, right? And I'm not going to let that profit go. So, and I'll show you that, what happened on my other ones as well. Did I go over that? Yeah, so looking for long entries because we're ready for a correction. It's been trending down a lot, and I feel like a correction is inbound. How big we'll play it as it comes. XAG still dumping. Silver, that is. We got some bullish divergence. Quarter short. Quarter short here. Rode that down to 22.9. Took my profit, and you know, it's rolled over again. So that was a bit unfortunate, but you know, happy with the profit. Profit's profit. 12 hour. What can we look at? You know, you've got some bullish divergence here. All right, so this is what I was saying. I just explained it on EU. So here's a perfect example. Right, there's your hidden bullish divergence, and then you've got these lower lows and these higher lows. So you've got the hidden bull with this peak here, right back here, and this is where people don't understand RSI and they don't understand wave structure. All right. People look at this. I mean, even experienced traders, they just still don't know what they're talking about. And not trying to disrespect people, but it's, I guess a lot of Elliott wave traders talk about, you know, use RSI in their trading, which obviously you should, and you know, hit divergences, etc. But you need to really know your structures as well, or you're gonna get caught out. So, you know, this first move down to 23, you know, 8 or 9, you know, people are going to say, oh, look at all that hidden bull. Look at that hidden bull, and what do you have here? Oh, we've got a 3-wave with hidden bull, right? But you're not you're not understanding proportionality, you know, supply that we hit, you know, the fact that we've still got more downside to go. Oh, my screen's fitting out. The fact that wasn't a finished structure, all these things, you got to take in all these different factors before you're going to take a trade. You know, if you're just doing a scalp and you got the bounce, cool. But if you're holding it, you know, you got this bounce here, and you're holding it, expecting it to just keep on going, and then it rolls over, and you're like, oh, it's one more hit, and then it comes up to your entry. And then you're holding it and it's selling off, and you're like, oh, it's just going to go up again from here, but then it sells off more, it sells off more. Well, look where you suddenly are now. How deep in the red are you now? Maybe you even added to your position because you were that confident. So just not a smart thing to do. Taking an entry at these levels, you know, a lot better, considering the rest of the market as well, considering where DXY is. And things like that. You could chuck a fib retrace on. We've hit the 50, you know. But just in terms of RSI, if you're looking at, why is it doing that? If you're looking at RSI, that's certainly a better entry, right? So you've got that reversal divergence, right, which is your regular bullish divergence. I'll show you something else on the 4-hour, just because it was a good example. So, you know, as now I'll use my trend lines as well. You know, we had that rejection, right? See the rejection here, and look how far it comes down. We break out of the trend. Not really a great bump and run, but a bit of a break and a bit of a retest. And then you look at price, look how much it moved up compared to RSI. So RSI, so that bullish divergence on the 4-hour, that's bullish divergence, right? You get the break. And I took my profit down here, and then I went for I didn't get the sell in here. I was concentrating on other pairs. I kind of waiting for it to make one more high, so I jump and run between pairs, but that would have been a good sell there. So you see that hidden bear. So that bullish divergence plays out, right, to give you the pump, but you see how much the RSI goes up and the price doesn't, and gives you that hidden bear. and then we rolled over. So I didn't end up getting the sell up there, which was a bit of a shame. But when it came down, popped back up, then I got the sell in here, which was good. So silver, where's it going? Silver right now, looking at it, if your bias was to the upside, you're looking for buy setups, but I'd have to wait till the lower time frame to see if I want to have a buy setup. There's no clear buy at this level for me, even though I think it can go up, which is why I wouldn't sell it from here. There's no clear buy setup for me. All right. Oil, I was looking at long on oil last night, and a 12 hour, look, we had the bump and run, and now we've come down, we're retesting it again. Originally I was looking at a sell, and then it looked quite kind of bullish to me, so I was going for the breakout, and then the liquidity grab low, and then to go up, and so that's what happened. And then last night I was looking at long in this area about 73.8, and then what happened was I looked at the 2 hour, the 1 hour and the 2 hour, and they both broken the trend on RSI, and you see here's the other trend on the 1 hour, and that was enough for me. I just went, I'm not risking it, because there was always a chance that it could put in a bigger correction like this. So we had that liquidity grab, and whilst I wanted it to come down and then go back up, I thought there was a potential. It didn't do that, and there was always that risk of dropping, so I jumped out for a small loss up in here, and it subsequently sold off quite significantly. Looking at it now you've got more hidden bull, and potential corrective wave in that. So certainly maybe another rollover, and then looking for buy setups. But I would be looking for buy setups. It looks like it's still good on the higher time frame. So be going for the buyers on that one. GU. Yeah, GU. So the 4 hour broke, retested, rejected. Last night when it was sort of getting a bit pumpy, that RSI had broken back above the trend line. So whilst it was above it, I was hopeful of a bit of a bull move, but we didn't get it. So I got stopped out when it came back at 640. So yeah, that's all right. I got a few pips in there from this level here, about 400. So again, it's trying to nail the exact reversal. I mean, I've done it plenty of times. You can get it, but it can be hard work, and sometimes you just can't get it. So you're just happy with what you can take, and I wasn't gonna go for another sell at these levels. I was looking for the buy. My bias is changing. I'm looking for the buy, and that doesn't mean it can't keep going down, as I said, but I'm looking for the buy, and I'm not looking to sell anymore. We've taken out these lows here, so can this continue to shower down? Of course. Looking at the 12 hour, there's no regular bearish divergence there. So, and that's another thing. Here's a good example of just why RSI, and this is another great example of why you don't just look at RSI. So there is your bullish divergence, right? Most people go, oh look, it's bullish divergence, it's going to keep going up like that, but it didn't. It just rolled over, right, and then just made lower lows, and then your bearish divergence, your bullish divergence is wiped out. So yeah, need to be looking at more than just RSI. Obviously, you need to be looking at your buy setups or your sell setups, and you need to use good risk management. Where else am I going? UCAD was a good one. It was, show you what I did on UCAD. It was pretty good. So we rode this up from this level, 100 and what did that end up being? about 130 pips. Now, as I said, I was expecting reversal on everything last night, London. Those numbers that came out for news for USD were good. They were quite good, like the unemployment claims and things. Everything was green for the dollar. So, that news just before New York. So, did that change the waves and what it was doing? Maybe, but I think just that last bit, there's more good dollar news. The dollar's not going to stop. Everyone's just getting bullish. Dollar's never stopping. Then it puts in the correction, gets them all out, and then it'll go up again later. So, anyway, I got out about here. I got out at, 70. Came down about 15 pips, and I jumped back in here at 950 for a hedge in case I was wrong on the majors, which I turned out to be, even though I didn't take any real losses. Or actually, I did take a loss on AU. AU rolled over a fair bit, so I lost about 15 pips there. So, AU got stopped out on my EUs, break even, took a little bit on GU, and then AU I got stopped for a loss. And so, I took UCAD as a hedge kind of thing on AU because they kind of generally move in opposite directions. And got to ride this one up from here. I'm still in that right now, so that's another 40 pips. So I'm pretty happy with that. Kind of covered, more than covered my loss on AU. I also had those little losses on oil. What else did I? Yeah. So anyway, that's what you do. That's what you can do, right? So I saw a bias set up here. So even though my bias was down, on UCAD and DXY, looking for that reversal, looking for that correction, I saw a buy setup on UCAD, and so I took the buy setup, regardless of that overall bias, because that overall bias can be just off. Just like you guys know this, that last hit low, that last hit high, and the reason why you don't want to overtrade, you don't want to over leverage, and you don't want to over risk is because you can be so close, and I've had this. You can be so close to catching the top or the bottom, but you just trade it wrong and then you miss the whole move. So, for instance, if you were, let's say me, right? I've traded this move up, and then let's say I got overconfident and I took my profit here, and then I caught a sell here, right? Caught a sell, starts going down. This is great. It's come back up for a retest, and I'm going, it's just going to break the high and it's going to roll over, and I've added to that sell, and now I'm, let's say, 3 times as heavy as I was on this move up, right? Because I'm overconfident, and I'm thinking I know the market's going to turn around. It's gone up 130 pips, and this is what it's going to do. And so, you caught 130 pips up, but then you're 30 pips down, and you're 3 times as heavy. Well, you've basically lost all your profit, right? And I'm saying that because I've done that in the past. And then what happens is you sort of get annoyed, and you either hold it, right, and it'll go up, and then it'll go on down. No, you hold it, sorry, and it'll keep going up, and it'll consolidate and go up, and you'll take a cut for a loss, or or you'll go, oh look, I'll take my profit even though there's not much, or not take my profit, I'll take my loss, and I'm still up from the move up, and then it'll just do that one more hit, and then do the rollover, right? So that's what can happen if you over risk. Whereas if you're doing proper risk management, and you are just trading how you're meant to, sticking to your rules, you won't get caught in this position, right? So for me, after last night and after the reversal, things are up and it was looking great, and then suddenly I'm back to sort of how it was, after the pre-London last night. All things, all trades sort of closed and whatnot. So all profits and losses taken in. So, but if I'd it was looking good. It was looking good. If I'd added to those positions, it's looking good. It's looking great. Suddenly I could have been down on all my profits from yesterday. So I know that's a bit of a rabble, but I'm sort of trying to just explain how if you use good risk management and you stick to your rules, then regardless of being wrong, you will be able to catch that reversal or that your directional bias without losing half your account or losing such a big amount that you don't want to trade it anymore, and then you miss the reversal and you don't get in, and then you're kicking yourself because you left it because you got too angry. Again, been there, done that. So for me, I'm probably going to set an alert up here, see what I can get, take some profit. But to be honest, after a good week, it's probably just a good idea just to take the night off. I'm probably going to take tonight off because I'm going out to a music gig with my cousin and my cousins. And yeah, it's just it's been a big week, a lot of trending. Market's probably going to consolidate and probably do something next week. So I might just leave it. I'll go quickly to AU. This is sort of the target I'm waiting for. This has been such a killer trade. Spewing, I didn't hold it the whole way, but you never do because it'll just reverse on you sometimes. But it's a 300 pip trade. Caught that exact top, and it's been an awesome move down. That running flat just came a little bit lower than I wanted I was going to load up heavily back here again, but it sort of played me this area in here, so that can still happen to me. And yeah, this video has gone longer than I expected, but I guess I'm just giving some experiential tips and things that you guys can take away as traders. I'm going to sort of share a mistake I made in here, and it really cost me a lot of profit. Small losses, but a lot of profit lost because of it. And so basically what happened was, here's your move, your first move up. There's a big drop down, first move up, right? Coming on down, here's your sort of 3-wave move in here. And when this started to come up, I want you to look at this. So this is the 15-minute. Look how high this RSI is, right? Look at all this bearish divergence here, right? And this is what, again, just from knowledge and experience, this is what I'm telling you. You've got to look at things like this and know what you're looking at. Look at all this hidden bearish divergence, okay? So big hidden bearish divergence there, but gives us the pullback. Gives a pullback, hidden bull, back up for more. And look at RSI just chopping up slowly. Meanwhile, price, goes up, 50 pips? Yeah. So what I did wrong was, and I broke my rule foolishly because, of the bearishness of the situation, is I took a short here, but it was pre-London. So I got in at 360. So pretty much the exact top, but it was pre-London. Okay, and I don't do that. It's kind of a rule, don't get in before, you need your session timing. Session timing is a big one. So I got in here, it went down, and then it came up, and then I got stopped for, it sort of came down again, and I just sort of held, and then I got stopped for 10 pips, right? So I got stopped out for 10 pips here. Now, if I'd waited till London, price would have been up here. So this is where price would have been. And if I'd waited for London, then I could have reassessed and gone, all right, where's my trade setup? Any trade setup in here? Probably not. There's no real trade setup. Probably the first entry I would have taken would have been this former EL. So I would have got in at about 560. So if I'd got in at 560, right, as my first entry, instead of 360 and getting stopped out, if I'd got in at 560, then, I would have had this, it would have come up. Now, potentially I would have stopped myself out on this move up, or I could have seen the wave action, not liked it, taken profit, waited for the next hit high, and maybe got in on something like this, because I think this was about midnight my time, right? Could have gone in about 660, because I think, it ended up coming back I ended up getting stopped out because I took another entry, ended up getting stopped out at about 590 or something like that. If I'd taken my entry at sort of 660, then my stop would have been, generally 15 pips, and I wouldn't have got stopped out, right? And so then after that, it was just a sell-off. It was just a wave action, hidden bear, didn't make any higher highs, and then it just sold off. And once it sold off, this was the NU New Zealand dollar, New Zealand news in here, which absolutely sent it going down, which I knew was going to happen as well. But with my risk management and my sort of trading style, I was very close to pulling the trigger at 66 here, but I just didn't do it, regrettably. But I just couldn't really pull the trigger knowing that it could go up a bit more. Next time was down here. This was that London session. I actually set an alert above this wick to take that short. It hit it. I looked at it, and it kind of just started dropping too quickly. I couldn't get my trade app open to take the sell. And then I sort of thought I'll wait for another hit high, and it just didn't happen. It just sold off. And so, look, I didn't get any of that sell. And this is what can happen. So it's a shame, but this is what can happen in trading. So I just went to other pairs. So once I'd missed AU, I just went to other pairs, and that's what you did. I went to silver. I caught a short in silver. I did what else I do. It was long on UCAD, things like that. So, anyway, I wanted to share that because that's an example of me doing the wrong thing in trading. And even though I knew where the market was going, I knew that once it broke this low, it was going to go more. I still couldn't get in because I had already, gotten stopped out up here, and it's not really just wise to keep sort of trying to grab entries recklessly and use no stop loss. So I could have got in knowing where it was going and left an open stop loss, but then what happens when it reverses on you and you're 50 pips down? So you can't really do that. So that's what happened with that. Learn from that. Learn from my mistakes. Still make them from time to time. Anyway, where's it stopping? I'm looking at this 1-to-1 first target. Looking for that 1-to-1. Looking for a reversal there. 64,930. Let's see what happens. Could be next week. Could be tonight, London. Who knows? NU was another great one. This news event, I knew it was going to trigger the sell-off, and that's gone straight down. That was pretty much the same though. 200 pips. Even though I called it, I was waiting for a sell setup, and that sell on the news just went straight down. So how do you get into that, right? You can't. Unless you're already in. This was during Asia, and I expected this. I said, once it had that initial drop, I was like, we're going to get a bit of a correction, and I'm going to jump in for London. Because I knew it was going to keep going, but you don't know if it's going to do this, what it did, or if it's going to do this. Now, if it does that, right, you could say, you could jump in, you could hold it for 30 pips. 30 pips? I don't know about you, but I'm not holding anything negative for 30 pips. Now, if it's up to 30 pips, but what if it goes up to 50 pips, right? So, as much as I knew it was going down, I couldn't find a sell setup. And so that was my trouble. Again, once I'd missed AU and NU, I just let them go. So, I just let them go. Knew what they were doing, but I just let them go. Wait for the buy setups. Look at this hidden bear. Hidden bear just keeps going, right? Keeps selling off. This is when the trend's set. That's when you're looking at your hidden bear and you're just going, yep, sell, right? And that's, like I said, if you're in the sell, you're looking at that and you're just going, it's going to roll over again. So, is this going to roll over again or not? see you later on. All right, I think that's about it. This is a super long video. I'm at work, and how long has this been going now? 30 minutes. Whew. S&P was the last one. All right, same deal. S&P. I rode the long up. I didn't get the short. It was in New York, and then I wanted the next hit high. Didn't get it. We got the sell at the EL, which was one of my options. So I had one of 3 options, but it was either, but fundamentally it was only 2 options. It was either take the high and dump, or hit this EL and dump. And it hit the EL. It didn't do it during London. It did it before London, and that's why sometimes I get dragged into taking trades before London, because sometimes you get that, which obviously would have been a really good trade. But again, once it broke that, looking at the 4 hour, to be fair, once it broke this candle right here, this candle, so 41.80 had broken the 4 hour. That was actually a good confirmation, especially after retesting the EL and everything considered, that it was going down. So I knew it was going down to 41.11. So 40.11, if you look in the commodities chat, was my target. Had a couple of wicks through there. We're down to 41.01 to 02, and then a good trade up. So what's it doing now? Well, looks like we just sort of rejected off that 4 hour. Especially if we sort of just pull that onto that, pretty close. Nice rejection. So, yeah, selling off again, I'd say. I look for some sells if they come on the lower time frame. But again, looking down here, 4,000 region, and then we get the upside. So, looking for sells on the S&P. All right, Mel. All right, shank that like, guys. Give me a comment. Give me a like. Don't be bums. Cheers.